So right now, there's a big argument about the right to repair, which is basically corporations stamping their products with their own personal policies, essentially not being able to go to third parties for repair or refurbishment. It'd be like if you bought a car and you could only ever take it to the dealership to get fixed. So you would be at the
Heck
whim
no.
of the dealership and you would have to pay whatever they told you to pay. And if you opened up the hood of the car, they'd be like, all right, you can open it up, but if you touch anything, you void the warranty and then you can't come back to the dealership. And so tech companies
What?
already do this.
Yeah, I was
So
about to say Apple does that. Doesn't
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Apple definitely does it. If you open up the phone, which they're actually being designed to not be opened unless you like go to an Apple store, you'll see the sticker that says like, which is basically as soon as you turn it over, you see the sticker that just says like, if you rip the sticker off, you void the warranty. You
Yeah, they
void the
make it to where you
warranty.
have they make it to where you have
And
to use a heat gun to take them off now because what it does, it has to reactivate the adhesive so you can pull off the backing or whatever. Yeah, it's difficult
yeah,
now.
and I'm kind of like, I don't know
I know
if
how to do it,
that's
bitches.
I don't know, but here's my thing, man. I don't know if they're doing it as a feature because they sell it as like, oh, it's all one piece of metal. Like, look at how solid and awesome it is. Or if
Well,
they're just
that's a
trying to
new
get you,
iPhone. It's a
bro.
solid piece of metal.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just trying
What?
to get me to keep
Let me
me
look this
like,
up real quick. I didn't know.
What number are
They
we on?
they did announce a new iPhone, didn't they?
What
12,
number are we on?
12.
12?
iPhone 12. Wow.
Yeah. What number are we on?
For
Well,
real. so,
iPhone's finna catch up to Final Fantasy.
so they bring
I
it
know,
back to the
right?
box look.
I guess it's like a slim
I
little
thought this
piece
was
of
their
metal
least
kind of
favorite
thing.
version because
Is that
people
a
just didn't
fucking
like the way it
compass
felt
on
in
the
the
back?
hand. I know,
Nah,
dude. The
dude, that's
cameras are getting
the super
ridiculous.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the super camera.
They literally put the word super in front of it.
I don't know. We could be just boosting. I'm
I don't
not
know. People
sure.
are filming movies on it though, evidently. So who knows? But yeah, they're making it
I
extremely
dig this
difficult, and
rainbow
even other
pastel color.
products too. Though I know that like
It's not for the gays.
Nintendo does that a lot too. Because I've actually opened up the Nintendo, and it's just right off the bat. You see that sticker that says like, "Don't touch this," or "You can't come back to us ever again." Um, but the motor industry is thinking about doing it, which is actually kind of a huge issue because there are
Hell
tons and
no.
tons of third party people who help you repair cars and stuff like that, so you don't have to go directly to the dealership. It's no secret that the dealership charges the most. You'll probably get the best product because it's directly from there and it's what the car is supposed to use, but it's going to be at the most cost, and then the labor is going to cost the most as well. So,
What
I mean,
part
I
of
kind of already heard John's stance. What do you think, Gene?
I don't like it at all.
I don't like
Cause
it at
I like,
all.
cause I like to repair. I'm a DIY kind of guy, dude. Like
No,
I
also, what part of
and
capitalism is
also
this?
I work on my cars, my motorcycle. Like I feel like if it goes from vehicles, it's gonna transfer to bikes, and like no.
What part of capitalism is this? This is my
That's
problem. This is what I always say about this fake capitalism that we have here. Like, we're capitalists to a specific audience.
People just like to
We're capitalists amongst each other. When they reach a certain level up there, there's no capitalism. Because if you're putting laws in place like that, or if you're putting I know it's not law because they're not fucking the government, but
it's just a
policies in place like that, that's monopoly, like that's monopolistic
I mean, they're allowed to
policies.
do that. Technically
yeah.
speaking, like the issue is the people who aren't willing to void the warranty to fix their phone. Because you can definitely fix your phone or fix your car and not have to go to the dealership or have to go back to Apple
But they're saying once you do it, you won't be able to go back to the dealership. Correct?
with that particular model, which is I think is fine. It just now comes down to
Okay.
finding someone who you can, I guess, trust, who has the knowledge.
Y'all wasn't
and
gonna get this whip anyway.
Yeah,
Okay, I
right?
get it.
So at the end of the day, I don't think it's the company's fault, even though I personally don't like it. I feel like that's bad business. I think, or it could, or what do I know? But it's
Okay.
up to the person. They
Question.
want to keep that warranty, or they want to do
Question.
it on their own.
Question for you two.
How long do you want to suck the tit?
What if they do that, right? And it's all cool. It's all cool. Then next year they drop the prices on the repair.
They do
That
do
would be
that
smart.
shit, dude.
I would
So-
be
But
like,
there would have been people who already voided.
okay. So what you're saying is they dropped. So people who still have the warranty they just drop the price for them. They won't just make it a flat out like drop repair cost, because you can still go to them outside of warranty and get it repaired. It's just going to cost like a ridiculous amount.
So this is just about the warranty.
Because I'm not sure if that right now.
Are you not allowed to take it back at all?
Right now, I'm specifically talking about the phone. I'm not
So-
sure if this translates to the car situation. If they do this
The
to the
car
car
shit
situation,
is where it gets absurd to me. So
Yeah, I
the
agree.
phone
Yeah.
thing, I'm kind of cool.
It's just growing in
I
scale.
just feel like the
So-
phone's a good example how
Yeah.
it could get ridiculous with cars.
Okay, so
But at
in
the end of the
your
day, it's still an option.
in your example, are they allowed to go back to the dealership at all with
well,
that
if they
vehicle?
do it the way the phone does, then no. Because with a phone, as soon as you break warranty, you can't do it, and I think it even voids like your insurance plan if you purchase one from Apple.
Damn,
So you basically are at their mercy
That's
to
where I have the
repair
problem.
the device.
because now you're leaving a hole where I can say, look, okay, guys, if you void the warranty, you're not allowed to come back to Toyota ever again with this vehicle, okay?
I
And
mean,
then
correct.
it takes
It's not repair; it's a replace. Certain things. Yeah, I'm thinking on now what I read. It's not a repair; it's a replace. They cost certain things to replace certain things, but they don't do actual repairs unless, yeah, like Doc's
You
right,
talking on the
it's
phone?
under warranty. But I feel like what they do is if it's under warranty, they just replace it. Because
Yeah,
I feel
for
like
sure.
the repair aspect, I feel like, is where you probably lose money.
It depends. Like, for example, I can only talk about like what I deal with, and our warranty repair. It just depends on the part that you're replacing or have to replace on the item, obviously. And then you gauge it. Like, if it's a part that's messes up a lot, you just stock it, wholesale stock it, run it through. Da 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 da. So it just depends. Like, when you got recalls and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, if the person isn't allowed to take the vehicle back to
Yeah, why do they
Toyota
want to do
at
this on
all,
cars specifically?
To lock
because
you
that's what.
in, bro.
Man,
But it's the only where else could you apply it to that would make sense
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that major scale.
yeah.
So my problem is, let's say you're not able to lower the pricing, or you strategically don't lower the pricing on your repairs for 5 years after passing this warranty policy. Now you have a 5-year gap of people who had the chance to remove their warranty, but did it because you were pricing them out of the repair. And now they can't take their vehicle to you anymore now that you're cheaper because they've already voided the warranty. That to me is not a gray area that should exist as far as that repair getting done. Oh, why don't you just take it into? I can't, girl. 2 years ago, I voided the warranty, and now it's cheaper now to do it here. And then it's monopolistic because the parts are being made for them by them. Now they can increase the parts for mom and pop shops. I just think it's a slippery slope.
And not only that, but here comes the fucking 13th version. So instead of just repairing it, just buy the 13th version. And then they keep you in the loop.
They
I'll
trying to
actually give
Apple the
a
cars.
I'll give a
We're
pretty
really
bad,
missing
example
the essence
for
of
that.
competition of a lot of the.
In capitalism.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what bothers me. Because people want to pretend we are being competitive, and it's not. Unless you have a revolutionary idea at this point where there's so much intellectual space that it's just yours to control, you're not, like, unless you're a Mark Zuckerberg, where everybody literally, you're the medium people need to go through. It's hard for you to get on that playing field of, I'm going to affect legislation. And that to me is where the capitalism is supposed to reach. Like, you get how many like influential billionaires do you get that could even sway any policy or choose to sway policy?
I mean, it would just be the tech giants, and the tech giants.
It would
are
just
kind
be the
of-
tech giants, and all
yeah,
those
they're
tech
just
giants
botting
have
everybody.
crazy ideas. Instagram. It was something major that was global. So now you need global influence just to compete.
To an
In
extent,
capitalist is
The
weird.
crazy
to me.
thing about like the tech giants though is that they eat each other. So like Instagram, for instance, was actually a small time thing that somebody else made, and then Facebook ate it, and then they put it into their stuff. And all the tech giants do that. They literally just consume whatever's coming up so that they don't have to compete with it later. And then they kind of try to lock people into these like systems so that they can keep on paying, and that they're just like, oh, it's capitalism because we're competing against ourselves, and we're just kind of giving you the new product over and over. Apple already has like stuff like this where they just sell you the same thing with like micro steps in advancement as opposed to actually completely advancing it. I think the only time they ever really did that jump was the iPhone X, which was a huge leap, but it was so much more expensive than the other ones. It was ridiculous, but it was an attempt. Um, there is one really bad example I've seen of this, and this is with computer graphics cards. So there's a company called Geforce, and they released a
Hmm.
graphics card about a year ago, and the card costs $1,200. That the new cards that they are releasing this year, that they released last month, I think, is twice as fast as that one, and it's half the price at $600.
Why is this one 1,200?
So this is literally the reaction that everybody had. Imagine if you bought the $1,200 one. So everyone who bought the $1,200 one was livid because essentially what we found out
Yeah.
was that the company beta tested its new technology with first adopters and made them pay double so that they could fund this one. And now this one is consumer friendly, and this is the one they're making to mass market. And this is the one that's going to be like the killing blow for the market that's going to basically give them the edge. But they did it at the cost of their first adopters that are like the diehards. They basically use them.
Somewhere,
Huh.
I know it's business, so there's no social legislation. Somewhere that's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's as a consumer, you just feel robbed, man. Like you were used essentially. Like
Cause then,
it's
cause then you know what you essentially did. Ooh, I know where it is. It's not defrauding, but hear me out. If you ask all of those people to invest those $1,200 instead, you now owe them a portion. So how can we not get them to get a portion? Because honestly speaking, that's all you would have needed to do, right? And
I think
then,
so.
like, you get what I'm saying? Like, then even if you're doing the $1,200, hey, you guys are getting a beta test of this thing and maybe a stock or half a stock or a percentage of a stock with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, y'all pay $1,200 for this shit off our name. But
It,
that just shows you what they think of their consumer, dog. That's fucking disrespectful.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
it's
That's
really
just,
really harsh,
yeah.
especially since there's really like there's only two major, or at least in the United States, there's two major
I feel like
manufacturers
that
of
would
cards.
heavily affect their reputation. Like, why would I ever buy from them again personally? Like, if when I decide to build my computer, like, why would I buy from them?
That's like Drake dropping an album saying I'm only selling 1,000 copies for $1,000,
But he sells at 10,000.
and he sells all 1,000 copies for $1,000, and it's a blank CD.
Oh,
He's like, thanks for paying for the production value
Thanks. They gonna
costs.
pay for it anyway because it's mine.
Yeah, this is
And then
essentially
he
what they
drop a
did.
mixtape on SoundCloud. Then he drop a mixtape on
Oh,
SoundCloud.
wow.
This is for my boys, yeah. Like it's wild.
Well,
You know,
so
people
here's
would
the crazy
revolt.
thing, Gene, because I see what you're saying, and there's majority two major manufacturers for cards. It's AMD and Nvidia. Nvidia was the one that did this heinous shit.
Nvidia.
The
So
same shit.
the thing about Nvidia, um, with the new cards, dude, is that they're so fucking cheap. Like I looked at the $1,200 card and I was just like, oh man, like that thing's awesome. I'll never get there. And then this year they were like, hey man, this is $600, and within like by the end of December we'll release a lower model for $400. And I'm like, oh, I can get the 400 one. Like I can get that one, and I can join that band. It's at the cost of those guys though. Like I'm thinking about that. You know what I mean?
Sacrifices.
And so I think that was Nvidia's play the entire time. They were just like, yeah, I guess we're just gonna screw over these guys. But the amount of casual people we'll get who are willing to give up a little bit less money,
Oh,
but
that's
to
so
join the
wicked.
bandwagon,
I know.
they're just gonna make up for it.
Because there are people who bought the 1,200 one who are gonna buy the $700 one because
That's
it's
the other
faster.
disgusting thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna play it with anger.
Yeah.
Look how fucking much faster this shit is.
They're gonna
God
pay with
damn it.
anger.
Wish I
I'd play
got
that
this
shit
first.
with super anger.
Would have saved so much money.
What about the kid?
Can't even enjoy these headshots.
What about the kid who was saving up to get a graphics card and or pieces for his computer he's building, and he just so happens to finally have enough on the year they released this $1,200 bullshit. Now next year it's $700. Like, that's just really wild that they would do that. It's like the nigga who raised the price on AIDS medicine. Like, that's some really wicked shit that
Yeah.
you're doing when you're just, because there's just no consciousness behind that.
So this is when I would argue when there should be true capitalism, if I would use that example, as you say, where someone needs to come out and start their own business. And I feel like this opportunity, like we have, what is it, Geforce and Nvidia, the primary two?
Yeah.
The problem with our
They're not
capitalism,
going to be like, hey,
the problem with our capitalism is when it started, and I've never spoken on this.
Nvidia or Geforce try to consume it like Apple does. Or
Exactly,
whatever.
because when it started, when capitalism and our idea of it started, everything was grassroots, kind of. Like, you had your old families, obviously. You had cotton, oil families, all this shit. But for Walmart to compete, he was competing with every other store owner, legitimately. Like, now there's a gap from when you start to where you need to be to compete, if that makes sense. So if your goal is to compete with Nvidia or Geforce, the amount of income you'd already need to battle them doesn't really lend itself towards true capitalism in the way that we believe the American dream is, and that's start with nothing. Now you're thinking about a guy who could build a graphics card who's as good as all of that shit, right? But he couldn't mass produce it. So he has to end up what? Working for whom? Geforce or Nvidia or some third. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I believe that capitalism in my hope is that somebody can grasp or reach the top through just hard work. Hard work and quality work.
I think there also has to be like a cherry on top of that sundae you just described, because it's like they also have to have like a want to do it, because at some point, like, I'm not gonna lie, like I can think of a lot of stuff that I would like to do, but eventually, like, if somebody throws me a large amount of money to stop or to take it from me, I might give in. But if it's something that I genuinely am like, nah, dude, like I don't want to do anything else in my life.
But
So
also a factor, I guess I wouldn't be another cherry, but to factor into what you're saying, okay, let's look at music contracts. Let's look at stuff like that, right? You're offering this person a lump sum of money that they haven't seen before. So now you also have to weigh opportunity. So it's not just that you don't love doing this graphics card thing, but who else may ever offer you this much money? Because your fear is you can't compete with them. Why? Because you know you can't. Like, it's just hard. It's just hard. So it exists. It's just that I think the chances are getting to be so finite that it's more of a concept now and a rarity. Like a Zuckerberg is a rare thing more than everybody who's really has the same ability and know-how as him. Now you're boiling down to opportunity. And if that opportunity can be affected or manipulated to sway towards one way or the other, that's when I feel like capitalism isn't being true, when you're affecting the opportunity. Okay, sorry, it took me a lot to get there, but that was my conclusion.
Hey, thanks for watching a clip of Fake Deep Thinking. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, like the clip, leave a comment, and check out our page for more content. Full episodes of Fake Deep Thinking are released every Friday on Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify. Peace.